eight, 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 eight session, eight session, eight, 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 eight session, eight session, eight, 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 eight. This is session eight.
Into the industry, into the industry,
into the industry, into the industry.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Martial Art Mindset. My name is Calvin.
And my name is Kevin.
And we are the Blasian Twins. So we're excited to have this podcast because we have a passion. And our passion we love to share is martial arts. We're just excited to share it with as many people as possible. And before we go on, let's start on with our mantra, okay? So follow along. Call and repeat, and then we're going to do it together. Okay? So let's do it. Let's get ready. Mind, body, spirit. I use my mind to think.
I use my mind to think.
I use my body to move.
I use my body to move.
And I use my spirit to spread love.
And I use my spirit to spread love.
All right, one more time for you people watching. We just want to help get that energy up for us and for you, because that's what we're all about, is bringing those three aspects together. So let's say it all together one more time. Even if you look silly, even if you're on a subway,
at least mumble
being
it.
safe during Corona, 6 feet away from each
Say
other.
it in your head.
Something. I don't
Follow
know.
along.
Just say it. Let's do it together now. Ready?
As ready as we can be.
Mind.
Together?
Yes. That's what together means. You see?
All right, ready?
All right.
Mind, body, spirit.
I use my mind to think. I use my body to move. And I use my spirit to spread love. So just do that today. If you don't do anything else or learn anything else from this podcast,
Remember
spread love.
Spread love. Everybody, love can be spread free.
It's free.
And it's good to receive. It's good
It's
to give.
good. We
It's
can
just-
talk so much about love. There's so many aspects of it. So what we're going to talk about today is
It's
our
tea first.
tea, but I want to say we're going to talk about our journey into the entertainment industry. But let's get our mind ready for that, because it's a crazy industry and there's a lot that we have to talk
I'm
about.
glad we got some tea.
So
I don't think we've ever really talked about this, so this will be fun for us.
this
What does yours say?
mine today
Wait, should I
says-
start with mine first?
Yeah, go
let's start
ahead.
with mine
Since
today.
he was born second, he's like, I want to go. So go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Drop that.
When you become part of the... Hold on, look at this camera.
Let's do it again.
When you become part of the universe becomes part of you.
You know what that reminds me of?
What? Why you always make a fist? You need to relax.
I'm sorry.
What's it remind you of?
It reminds me of the episode of Unity that we talked about. So there's a previous podcast we have called Unity. Read it one more time.
Ding. When you become part of the universe becomes part of you.
And I'm going to read mine now. It says, every beat of your heart is a rhythm of your soul.
Oh, okay.
So if you got to... That means your heartbeat has a lot of soul. If you got...
If you hear that, just you ain't even make a sound. You're just like, what is that? You got a lot of.
That means you got to get your body on track.
Oh, and it's
that's
talking
not
about
normal.
It's talking about the heart too, rhythm of the heart and the
Rhythm
soul,
of
which
the heart
mind,
and soul,
body, spirit. We talk about in our second session.
Yes,
Everybody. Oh, that's not second session, but when we talk about everybody.
Oh yeah.
Soul,
So we got previous things to talk about all these things. So thank you.
Thank
for
you,
the
Yogi.
tea, Kevin, because he bought it.
Oh yeah, and this is a sweet clementine for
Yeah.
stress support.
Stress, because during this coronavirus, we all need to control our
Wait,
stress.
do you want some honey in yours?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started because we have had a very interesting journey in the entertainment industry. It all started off because we had a vision when we were younger, but it even started with the bigger vision that our father gave us when we were even younger than when we were younger. When we were even younger. When we were even younger.
Okay, let's start there because I want to know like where your head is with starting it because we could go for a long time on this, but we only have so much time. So what is that when you say that?
When I say the journey started with our father, it's because he has just always had a vision for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why he started us in martial arts, among other reasons. But one thing he definitely wanted us to have are skills to stand out among the rest and to be able to have that mentality that he had in the military. So that's one why we started martial arts. But also there's always been this aspect because we are twins.
Yes, twins, just me and twins. We've always like just had that dynamic. People are interested in twins.
And so we knew we should use that to our advantage as we go into the entertainment industry. That's why we even started this, because we're like, okay, we put in work, we put in time. We've been studying quiet. Now it's time for us to share our voice and share our story. So it started with our dad having a vision. He's the one who started us in Hapkido, along with our sisters who started before us. We all got our black belt from the same grandmaster.
Grandmaster Lee.
And what really got us into the entertainment industry side is our dad, when we were younger, tried to get us into a few things here and there. And it taught us early, like, you can have these big grand visions, and not everything is going to work out how you think it's going to work out.
We learned that early. That's probably one of the hardest things to learn is that things won't work out all the time. Pretty much that feeling of rejection, which we didn't understand when we were younger, but you can feel it.
Yeah,
you may not have the words, but you can feel it.
You can feel it. And then just jumping forward to the most notable things that we've done now, we're going to talk about everything in between that, but most notable is Black Lightning. So that, tell us why, or you tell them why Black Lightning is so important to us.
Black Lightning is important to us first because it gives just us as Black people the chance to show our talents, and thank you to the show and to the creators of the show for supplying and allowing Black people to work. So that's why it's so big and notable to us. Also, it's playing on the CW, so that's a pretty big network. That's why it's notable to us, because it's like, look, we've been working towards it. We actually got to do something that we worked really hard for.
That we always knew, as we said in the previous podcast, we knew at a young age we wanted to be action stars. And we'll come back to the story on how we got on Black Lightning. Let's go ahead and start back from when we first got our camera and started shooting stuff.
Oh, that was, I haven't thought about that in a minute.
Because that's part of our entertainment world, industry, whatever you want to call it, part of our journey, because that was part of it that nobody saw.
We saw it because, of course, we were there, but nobody saw this.
And we took our studying of how we study martial arts and applied that to filmmaking. And what was the first, do you remember the first fight scene we shot together?
What was the first one?
Well, you know.
The reason I have...
hold on. Before we do all that, there was something else we did before.
What's that?
Stage performance.
I was literally just thinking that. I was like, hold on, before we go to all that,
that's important.
That's what comes to mind. One thing that, I used to really not like doing stage performances because our dad was in the military. So he trained us like we were in the military. One thing that was hard was always having to practice and rehearse.
Even when you didn't want to, just like
ready. Which, I mean, if you've done cheer, if you've done sports, anything
gymnastics, anything else,
anything with a choreography or performing on stage,
y'all know how it feels.
You know how it feels. Now think about taking that and dialing that up.
Dialing it up to like a
military level. That's what that is.
Literally made us sick of like looking at a nunchuck or looking and learning a weapon, because he just had us do it. So he would get off work, we would finish training, he would take us to the gym to go train some more.
And then chew us out on the way back. And then while we're trying to eat and all that.
And his whole point of the chewing out was, I'm going to be able to have you all handle me yelling at you, because if somebody else yell at you, you'll be able to handle that. It's not going to feel like nothing. And
man, it was hard.
It was hard because it was coming from somebody that we just cared for and knew he loved, but it was just confusing. It's like, why are you teaching this? But as we're older now, it makes so much sense because it helped us build that tough skin in this industry that you need, which is, of course, we talked about previously, train with your skills if you're trying to be an action star. But with anybody who's working on going into the entertainment industry,
tough. You got to have tough skin.
Right. So martial arts is a great way to build that tough mind, because you need that, not real skin unless you're trying to be a scaly monster. You need that
tough emotional
skin. Right.
The
right.
mental too, which is why we're here. One reason we have this podcast is not just to help you in your martial arts, not just to help with the mindset, but take this mindset and use it in other parts of your life.
Apply it.
Which we've definitely done, which is why we're able to be disciplined when we need to be in our work. We're able to have structure. And of course, like just doing the work, like doing stage performances. I don't even, like, there's so many stage performances that we have
Name
done.
off a few places. Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California
was
one.
We actually performed.
That's actually where Bruce Lee performed, where you see the famous 1-inch punch, where you see him do the one finger push up. It was actually at Long Beach, California.
Yes.
We actually got to perform in front of the
tournament.
in the
in
tournament.
the same space, I think.
Yes, in the same space. And also they had the Martial Arts Hall of Fame that year.
Yes,
that was what, 2009?
And we performed at the, it's crazy you say, we performed at the Martial Arts Hall of Fame, like all these top martial artists in the world in one room. And thanks to Eric and Lion Man O'Neill, we were part of a group that he had called Lion Man and the Seven Carudos. So that was part of our journey. The way we met that, let's step back. Part of our stage performances, we also did some tournaments. We didn't do a lot.
Let's talk about what we did in the stage performance. Of course, we'll show you guys some. Here's some of the stage performances.
All this stuff, if you're listening to the audio, just know that there's visuals along with all of this. So check it out on YouTube,
supplemental
on Facebook.
visuals. It's also a big part of what we show because we're showing movement, martial arts. You only can get so much in the audio, but the visual will help supplement it and add that value.
So some of the things we would do on our stage performances, then we'll talk about how we went from that to there's so many things. So please forgive us if we're talking in loops.
We're trying to remember. We're trying our best.
But so what we did on stage, we did weapons. There's this very famous nunchuck combo you see us do all the time. We're on our knees and we
that's the performance our dad made sure we knew
how to do in our sleep.
We did it at talent shows. We did it in tournaments. We did it in the B.O.B. music video.
Yep. It just is one thing that we've always continued to do because that's something we can just go to without having to think about, which is something you need to have as a martial artist going into the movie industry. Make sure you have skills, some type of kata, something where it's like, hey, show me you're a martial artist.
At the drop of a hat, you should be able to show that. It's almost like being a singer and not having a song ready to sing.
Right. You got to have that together. It's like being an actor, which, again, if you're working to go into the movie industry as a martial artist, work on your acting skills too, because you have to have a monologue together. Now, we didn't have a monologue.
We have somewhat of a unique story in that way. And a lot of, I do have to say, like myself, a lot of luck. What you can say is luck.
And faith, because faith is what helped us move forward in this industry, because we learned a long time ago there is no rule book, there is no guidebook to the entertainment industry.
Everybody is looking for one.
Right.
But they're trying to create one, and it's like,
how? So hopefully,
it feels like the Wild Wild West. That's what it feels like.
And so from the stage performances, we would do nunchucks, we would do 3-section staff, we do hand to hand, we had katanas, we had all sorts of things. There's one move where you're doing I'm doing the 3-section staff, then we spin around and whoop, and
I
then we
grab
switch
it,
it. He grabs it, then he does his
jump
thing with
over
it.
it.
Well, it's crazy, like the stuff that our dad had us doing on stage, and he was figuring it out with us, and we were figuring it out. And that's what helped groom us to be able to do things in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell about when we got our first little DSLR.
First, okay, before the DSLR.
Before the DSLR, it was a Sony flip camera, and our dad was
camcorder.
like,
So
camcorder.
okay, this is what he. So we asked our dad. He asked us what we wanted. What was it? Birthday.
Birthday, something
it was
like
for a
that.
birthday or Christmas.
Yeah.
Which we asked for an HD camera. So this is before like DSLRs were super commercial.
Super, yeah.
And they were like really expensive. So we asked for we just went like an HD
Something that's high
camera,
quality,
right?
you know.
So our dad was like, you know what? I'm gonna go all out for them. I'm gonna get this camera. I'm gonna see this camera right here. This says HD.
No, HDD.
Oh yeah, that's what it said.
It got
It said
2D.
HDD. It got 2Ds. That gotta mean something.
That means it's real hot.
It got 2Ds. That means look. Now what he didn't know is that it meant hard disk drive, which means it just had extra space on the camcorder, but not good quality. It wasn't It was not HD.
but we
Not
still used it
Hey, it's the-
nonetheless.
It's a thought that counts.
And the first thing that we shot with it, I remember it
Family
was
stuff.
family stuff, of course, but as far as like action, it was in the gym.
The twin battle.
Twin Battle. That's what it was called. Twin Battle.
Twin battle. I think
And-
we said Twin Battle 1.
Yeah, Twin Battle 1
Oh my
because
God.
it was
Let's show
literally
some clips.
us and a tripod. And I think we had Sony Vegas Pro that we were editing
You
in.
can see our young self.
Yeah, and like we just pick up the camera.
You made
when
the
we
little
needed
beat.
to.
You made a little
I made a
four-batter
little
beat.
song on it. We made everything on it from top to bottom. But it was our first one, Twin Battle.
Yeah, Twin Battle.
Oh my goodness!
I just saw it recently. That's why I remember it.
And then the next one we made after that. Now these are all things that we shot on our own.
To start way before.
This was in high school too. High school. So we were learning how to video edit and shoot in high school.
I gotta say, we put this in our mindset too. Like we knew in high school that we wanted to have production companies and we wanted to like
Make
do
our
acting,
own action
do martial arts,
films.
do all that stuff.
Make our
we
own
also
documentaries.
made sure we were in it for the long run.
Not just for like, I'm
We
gonna
s-
get it for the fame.
We set aside. We said, okay, 20 years to do this stuff.
I'm gonna get it because the money's good. Has the money been good? It's been straight. It can be better.
We're here, right?
We
Hey,
here.
look, all I'm saying is we're floating
Right.
above the water.
And it's like,
It might be feel like this sometimes.
and with us, we don't even think about it for the fame. We just think about it for like, this is really what we love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so the second thing we made, what was it? It was another fight scene.
It was out.
It was
the
in the
playground.
park. Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but
What do we call it?
somebody-
We can find it.
that was huge for us because that was something we stepped up. We got his ex-girlfriend to shoot it instead of
Thank
us
you
behind the
for
camera.
the ex-girlfriends.
Yeah,
that
and
held the
then
camera. Thank you guys.
that helped us. It didn't get a lot of views, but it helped us because somebody had commented that was making a lot of fight choreography and stuff, and they helped us.
advice.
Gave us advice. They were like, "Hey, man, it's great. You know, if you get this low angle here and shoot this," and we're like, "Okay, cool." And we took that same advice, and we also sent our stuff over to somebody well known in the industry called Larnell Stovall, and we actually met him in California, in Anaheim.
Yes, it was in California.
For Lion Man, for Eric O'Neill. He is actually Eric O'Neill's Mr. Lion Man, his student. He was a student for a long time at his academy in New Orleans.
And I
he-
remember seeing him and just being like, "Wow, he knows a whole lot." Like,
Right.
This is how much I know.
And this is how much he knew. Because we showed him a little video. and then he showed us a movie that he did the fight choreography for.
Oh, he was a fight choreographer for that year they won.
Undisputed.
Yeah, Undisputed 3.
Oh my gosh, with
Scott Adkins.
Scott Adkins, Lateef Crowder, with oh man, it was incredible, and it just blew our minds. It was like,
So for us to see that, we go to a tournament doing a stage performance.
and this is possible. So we didn't stay in a bunch of contact with him, but when we were about 18 or so, he did send us this fight scene to recreate, which we never did. But which
we
is
needed
our
to build
fault.
confidence. Yeah,
it was our, and we had
confidence,
just was starting college, so we stopped kind of thinking about that because we were so focused on what we were doing in college. But
and we went to college for film.
he
so
gave
it's,
us, not only did some people on YouTube give us some advice, but he gave us advice was like, look, study Donnie Yen, study the movements, look at this fight choreography, and because he actually cared, and he's still working a lot in the industry, so we appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into college, we said previously our parents wanted us to go to school for nursing, but we were deliberate and we're like, we're gonna go after our passion. We're gonna do film.
I remember it
We're gonna do
started out.
TV.
It was like, oh, we'll go for that nurse degree. I remember we went to the nursing building and all that. Yeah,
Right,
Now
we
the
did.
nursing school at the University of Alabama,
Bro,
top
top
of the
notch.
line.
Like what?
Yeah,
They got
really
like
good.
real looking dummies there. They breathe and stuff. They do all. They move.
I'm sure it's
They,
way
like,
better
they-
now. That was
They probably got little humans in there.
a little AI.
Yeah, little AI with real looking skin and hair and everything.
Yeah, that's incredible training.
They wanted us to go to nursing school.
And we just slowly were like, nah. Okay, at least take like human anatomy or something so you could have courses towards it. Nah. And it took a little while, but they finally got on board when they saw how much we actually loved
Loved
what we're
it.
doing.
And also what changed the mindset of my dad, because he was always like, you got to work hard, you know, you got to do this, you got to get other people to see you, you got to be able to. When I said to him at like 20 something, early 20s, like, I was like, hey, I don't want to go through life having to work for somebody else when I have the ability to build something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that clicked with him because he worked and provided for what we needed
Yeah, he
throughout our
did.
life.
He
And
made
he
the
saw-
investment in us. Yeah.
I was working for somebody for all my life. I don't want my sons to have to go through that if they don't have to.
Yeah, really, why are we working for somebody else like that? Of course, we do that to try to take care of ourselves. But
You do what you got to do.
you do
That's
what
why
you
he
got. I
did.
mean, think about it. How many jobs have we had just working
Too
for?
many. I can tell you.
How many jobs have you guys had working for somebody else, and you know you don't want to be there?
I can tell you, I am not built to work for somebody. I'm built to work with people.
Yeah, well, working with people
Work
is good.
with people,
Mhm.
but like for somebody, it's just it's a weird dichotomy with me because I'm a hard worker, but if I don't feel like that person is really helping me with my vision and my goals, if they're an
If there's
employer,
not alignment there, that's what
right?
it is.
It doesn't really serve me a purpose.
If you guys don't have some kind of common goal, it makes it really hard to be there. So, like, think about it for yourself.
Mhm.
Is what you're doing, even if you are working for somebody else. We're not saying it's wrong to
No,
do that
you got
because
to.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But what we're saying is, if it's it's harder to work with that person and do those things when you don't have some kind of common goal.
right,
Mhm.
which is why I don't mind quitting a job because I have, if it wasn't aligning with another purpose that God was showing me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just stepping out on faith and knowing, because I've been self-employed now for almost 3 years.
I've been teaching martial
He's
arts.
been
so.
teaching at a
So
dojo.
it's in a lot like my
It's
job
an
is
alignment,
with
you know.
everything that's been happening.
I've always been saying I want to be an entrepreneur. It just seems like this. People like sell it like it's this cool thing, but no, I really want to make money easily. I want to also be able to have control of my finances, control of my
Yeah,
career.
everybody wants to. That's what.
That's why we started.
That's why we're
this.
starting. That's because we want to give something free for you guys to be able to hopefully change and help you go towards your goals, your dreams, and
And it's also
aspirations, 'cause that's what
important
we've done.
because in the entertainment industry, you have to have a business mindset. Like if you just go in it thinking somebody's going to give me an opportunity,
Because I'm good, I'm dope.
good
all
luck.
this
Because
stuff.
guess how big the pool is?
Like an ocean.
Like an ocean. If you haven't checked out session 3, he's referring to us talking about the mind,
The river of the mind.
the river, the ocean of the mind. But there's an ocean of people too out there looking for your position. So when we started, after we graduated from film school, let's talk about that real quick. How was the film school experience?
Film school was honestly incredible.
Where did we go?
We went to the University of Alabama.
Roll Tide. Forgive me for having blue on. but
Man, that's
there's
your fault.
crimson inside these veins.
Yeah, so it was great. So we really went to work to learn hard, like what we went there to do. I mean, I remember one semester having full-time classes, having to work at a restaurant, working at McAllister's Deli. Also had 2 internships where I had the internship with you.
I
At,
hooked him up with,
what was that place called?
Multimedia Services.
Multimedia services,
which
so
we just provided videography services for
faculty
on campus, or
adding like subtitles,
production and editing.
accessibility. Just a lot of different things with the school.
We had to set up lights, set up cameras, interview people, go back and edit. So pretty much what we were doing in the internship.
Voila.
Doing it now.
Yeah, and I had 2 internships at the time. So it was full-time class, internship with you, internship with Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. So I love music.
Yep.
We make music.
So
I
he
had
got
an
to
internship.
record a bunch of shows.
That was one of my favorite things. Internship. We did so many different artists. I remember one artist. Everybody should know this person.
I
Willie
remember this
Nelson.
artist. Willie. I remember this artist.
Yeah, Willie Nelson. I remember he was there one time. Had I wasn't here for that one, but Backstreet Boys, that would have been fun. I don't know if you guys remember the Lumineers did
The
that.
Lumineers.
Lumineers
Yeah.
was fun. That
Erica
was
Badu
fun.
came one
Yeah,
time.
Erica Badu came.
She showed up late on stage.
In fact, there was
Kim played that night too. He opened up for her.
that's pretty cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
did like Keith Sweat and
Keith Sweat, yeah.
I actually got a rose from. What are their names?
Do you have the footage of this?
I have a picture of it. 'Cause so
He got handed a rose
Boyz II
as the
Men.
camera.
so I was doing camera most of the time when I did camera, I love was right up in front of the stage, just doing camera from the pit. We had a Sony
EX3.
Sony EX3 connected with the fiber wire. We had to hook that up. We had to set up the projectors, and our job was to make sure the people in the back could see really good and make good visuals if we can. So I was always in the pit, right there in front of the artist. Now let me go back to Keith Sweat real quick because he was like one of the people that performed. He really do be sweating. Like, I felt some Keith Sweat right on.
Shower.
Just Keith shower. Ooh, yeah, I was like, oh man, but it was great. And then Boyz II Men, they did their thing. It was great. Like recorded them. Everybody's all up in it. Of course, I know the music, so like I got the cameras. And then it gets near the end. We're on the headset. They're like, oh, they're passing out roses. Hey, Kevin, why don't you ask them for a rose? So yeah, you see me holding the camera, and I'm like, you see just on the side of the frame, just my hand come out. As for a rose, and you can tell his face. He's throwing it out to different people. He looks at me and is like. I have a picture of the rose, so like, yeah, there's a lot of different stories too.
Oh man, we also did camera not just for amphitheater. We did some sporting events.
Oh, we had a
did
job at
soccer,
Jowdy Photography, which I got him the job there.
So Jowdy Photography was a company that would sell pictures of you at events. Okay, event photography. We did the football games and some other events, but we would literally go to football games at the University of Alabama and get paid. So our thing was, if we're gonna do something, we should get paid for it. If I'm gonna go to this football game, how can I get paid? We get to walk around the whole stadium.
And we get to take pictures of
take pictures of people, be all up in people's seats.
It was a lot of walking, but
it was worth going to the University of Alabama football games.
I remember
seeing it
there
through a
was
lens.
watching the LSU Alabama game.
Oh my
working.
gosh,
That was
crazy!
fun.
It was crazy, and we also had.
Oh, we also had a job. We don't talk about this one as much, but we also did, like we said, if we were going to go to parties in college, that we wanted to get paid.
Yep.
So we did security.
Security. Call them. We did security at Whack. Sorry. Excuse me.
Reset.
Reset. Ooh. Don't want to sound racist when I say this. White fraternities. We would do security there, and it was weird. The white fraternities had they were like required security, where then the black fraternities they didn't, and they had their parties. It wasn't. I don't know. That's something
We don't understand.
I
just
never
did the
got
work.
it. We just showed up, when they told us to be there, and we were like, if we are going to go to parties, we'll get paid.
Let's get paid.
It was-
So we did
and
security.
We did security. Luckily, we were safe. It was just like a lot of drinking, y'all. Ridiculous amounts. So if you're in college, I mean, with coronavirus now, I guess you can't have all the. Y'all still have ragers. I've seen them parties. It's stupid.
We've seen them.
The Rona parties.
We've been
y'all are
there.
dumb. It's dumb.
Hey,
So
don't call
like,
people dumb like that. Be a little nice.
I'm saying the Rona parties are dumb. They're like, whoever gets Rona first.
Oh yeah, that's
like
pretty
that
dumb.
stuff. It's
That's
stupid.
pretty irresponsible.
You know
yeah.
that. Come on, y'all. Use your mind. Use your mind.
It's-
Then use
that's-
your body. Protect your body. Because
Just
then
stay
you got
away.
a spirit inside of there.
Stay out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
All right, we
so
kind of went on a
security-
tangent.
Yeah.
Okay, security.
And we're just saying this because during all this, during the security job, during the internships, we had been continuing to learn and build our skills up. Because when we graduated in 2015, matter of fact, before we graduated, the first time we were on set, which was huge for us.
2013.
2013, we had been studying and we were kind of getting into more of the advanced film classes, and we were studying different positions.
And we've never actually
different
been
bus-
on like a real set. We say a real set. We've been on sets like at our college and all that.
Like this set we
when we
have
say
here.
real, it's like legit a
Big
studio
budget.
putting this
Mhm.
together. So the
Security.
very first thing we ever did,
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic. Matter of fact, it's just a magical experience.
It was extremely magical.
I'm on the website. I'm on the website.
Holding up
I'm
the
in a pink
camera.
shirt. It's just like a quick whew. But we are background
Mm-hmm.
extras, whatever position you want to call that.
A background artist.
Background artists.
Mhm.
And we
Background artists are very
The first
necessary.
one was Jurassic World. Yeah, and I think you have a list pulled up here. Just
so
so before he names off this list, we decided to learn more about the industry by going straight to it and just becoming background extras. You know, we never were a PA on set except for smaller things, but being an extra is what led us to meet more people, to see how the flow works on set, the wording, the lingo.
that's really why we wanted to get on, because
'Cause
we're
we-
in
we-
film school and we're like, oh, we keep talking about all this, but what's it actually look like?
What's it feel like?
And for it to be Jurassic World, where you walk on and you feel like you're in a theme park.
Oh my gosh, they had this huge set. It took them 6 months to build in the
800
parking lot.
extras.
In the parking lot of Six Flags in New Orleans. This park was closed because of Katrina, but they had enough space to build this world
And have enough parking.
enough parking. It was a great experience because it was like our introduction to the film industry. And Chris Pratt came with the other lady. I forgot her name.
He came
in the
and
movie.
spoke to all the extras.
And we're like,
that
hey,
was-
it's great for y'all to be here. While we were on set, I gave him a high five. It was like, this is awesome, man.
great set.
This is dope. And along the way, just we've been on so many other sets that are good, that are great, that are not so great, all in between. But we got to
for
learn
the first experience to be like
Jurassic
amazing.
World.
I remember we were doing a take like at the beginning when everybody was first there, and they're shooting on film, and the Happy song started playing because they had the
Oh
PA
my
system.
gosh! And then
Yeah.
they started playing Happy.
Everybody was so happy, dancing, singing in this heat.
Right. So we'll talk more about other times on set
In
because-
other
and other things, but
podcasts.
just go ahead and name off a few of the things.
Okay,
and
so
we'll
here's
try
the
to
list.
Add on.
We had to make a list. Jurassic World, Selma, Insurgent, Allegiant Part 1, Ride Along 2, Myers Christmas, All Eyes on Me, Baby Driver. There's a whole lot more too.
There's Vampire Diaries. I
Vampire
worked
Diaries.
on there.
He worked on
24 Legacy.
24
Baywatch.
yes, Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Oh, we
that's-
stayed in the car for Baywatch.
Yeah,
we
we're
literally
just not getting our foot into the door in the industry, and they're like, "Hey, they're shooting Baywatch in Tybee on Tybee
Tybee.
Island, Savannah, Georgia," and we didn't have a place to stay, so we were like, "We're gonna rough it in the car." Got
Stayed
to
in
be
the
on
car.
the beach.
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, you said beach.
Beach. We got to be on the beach for hours and hours
Oh, that's
On
when I
set.
learned that black people can sunburn.
because we were outside for so long. And that was my first time ever being a stand-in. It was my first time.
So
Baywatch.
you will not guess he was a stand-in for.
Oh my gosh!
He got the job right in front of me.
Wait, I
just
looked first off
stole
before
it.
he says it. I didn't steal
Stole it from
anything.
me.
I was at the right place at the right time.
Hey, I just happened to be eating at that time.
that whatever. I'll let you tell it, but I will say I look nothing like who I was the stand-in for. I look nothing.
So, the story goes: we're on the set of Baywatch.
Mm-hmm.
We're eating breakfast.
Baywatch with Zac Efron, with
Zac
The
Efron
Rock,
with The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson,
2017.
and other.
Oh,
actors.
we actually met some triplets.
Yeah.
Side note. That's a side note. But back to the story. So we're on the set of Baywatch. We're eating breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
They see this black dude who's pretty dark, kind of short,
Yeah, a little bit shorter than that.
but he's a little bit shorter than the actor that they need. So
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, you look like the actor, but you're too
Right.
short." So they find some other black guys.
they literally like turn and like, who's the nearest black people?
Yeah, like who's it?
And that was us. So you're
That was
standing
us.
there.
We were standing there. I'm sitting there eating my food. I had eggs because I was eating a lot of eggs.
And he had food in his mouth.
I had
And
food
they were
in my
like,
mouth. They came up and asked, "All right, so which one of y'all want to be a stand-in for Hannibal Buress?"
and I was like, I will.
And I was like, "Brr."
And he had food in his mouth. See,
So he got to be a stand-in for Hannibal Buress.
Look at the skin tone first. Look at pull up a picture of Hannibal Buress. So
I'm
y'all
sure
can
he looked
see-
out and like,
all right.
I'm sure he looked at all the other stand-ins like, "Yep, that's the Rock
That's
stand-in.
the-
That's the stand-in." That
Who is
Who
this
that?
guy? And it's like they threw a shirt on like he had on me, and it's just all big, and I'm just standing here like, And so I'm thinking like, how is this gonna be? Because now I get to go from the extras tent to the main actors.
You got
tent
to eat
and
good
I got to
food.
eat with it was I didn't sit with him, but I saw The Rock's cousin, who's a stunt double. I was like, man, this
hey, he
dude-
looks exactly like him.
and he's like the pebble. The pebble. And The Rock is The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Did you smell?
Yeah, so I got to
The Rock
stand
is
next
cooking.
to The Rock, and it was super cool.
I got to see you from a distance. That's
Yeah.
like-
This was our exchange, all right? Because I did, they're like, don't start a conversation, this, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, standing there and just looking like, it's the freaking Rock. I used to play with you on WWE SmackDown. This is, I used to see you with the eyebrow and the, And so
No,
I'm
right?
just sitting there looking like, I want to say something, but let me just stand, look cool.
Look cool,
try to look cool. And then he was just
Hannibal
like,
Buress.
he walks up, hey, buddy. He's like, hey, how you doing? And that was it.
That reminds me of when we were on the set of Ride Along 2, and like Ice Cube and Kevin Hart were doing a scene like walking down the stairs, and
Mhm.
they had to keep resetting going up and down them stairs. So I was like, dang, that's a lot of stairs. They gotta keep resetting.
Uh-huh.
I remember I was on the stairs when they were doing that scene, and I've always like, dang, this is Ice Cube right here. Kevin Hart, Ice Cube, they right here. And like, so I just don't say anything because we're all at work. Like,
Right.
we've been doing extra work for years at this point. And it's
We
like-
maxed it out at probably like 3 or 4 years because we had to cut it off.
But yeah, we at this point it's like, okay, we get it. We're here to work. We just do our thing, and we leave. So while they're resetting after going down the stairs, cut is called. They're resetting, coming back up. I'm just looking at them like, this is cool. Okay, yeah, I've been doing this, but I'm right here. They're right there. Ice Cube is looking at me while he walks up the stairs, and this is one of the moments where I felt kind of starstruck. This is all he said to me. He was just like, "What's up, homie?"
Yo, classic.
But said it in the Ice Cube tone,
In the
Ice Cube, I
Ice
can't say
Cube
it.
voice, right? Just
I just said, "What's up?" But inside me, I was like, "Ooh!"
so, man, I know. It's so being a stand-in for Hannibal Buress. Going back to that, just to tell you, because it was just weird, kind of like what you expect. I was like,
What do you say that? Kind of like what do you expect? What were you expecting? First
I was expecting like he probably gonna look at me like, who is this dude? They got this guy looking, but he's just looking, just that awkward. You could tell he was thinking stuff like, and we
That'd
didn't
be cool
say
if you-
much to each other because I'm like, I feel weird.
I don't look like you.
It was weird. It was super cool because that was the first time I got to read lines with actors and stuff and like do it in front of the director.
That's a different.
They're
feel
like,
right
all
there.
right, give it. That was new for me,
Mhm.
right at that point in time. And so we worked on that. We worked on so many other things.
Yeah,
The first
I'm
time I had a
forgetting about them.
speaking role was on Ambitions. Ambitions. Shout out to Thomas DuPont for hooking us up
Thomas
with that,
DuPont.
hooking me up with
Thomas
it.
DuPont is actually when we first auditioned for it, which we probably will talk about a little later, for Black Lightning. Thomas DuPont, thank you, sir.
Thank you. He is the one who, Jennifer Badger, they got us
Jennifer.
on Black Lightning. Thank you all.
For your support and
yes.
for trusting in us in that role. I know there's so many other performers and people that you guys like deal with, but for that moment, thank you guys.
Yes. And so let's talk about Ambitions, and then we'll talk about Black Lightning.
Oh yeah, and we also have a few other things too that we were on. Like you helped a kid with.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So many things. We're just forgetful. Like
Right.
you said, we're trying to remember.
So, yes. Okay. Before we talk about Ambitions, because there's a story I want to share to teach that that thing that Daddy taught of like being able to handle somebody yelling at you. It really played into
That set.
that day
I think I
for
remember
real.
you telling me about it.
But I trained this kid named Bergie.
Bergie, incredible actor.
Incredible actor.
This kid, I saw him. I'm like, this kid is incredible. Can't
This
he sing
kid
too?
Is lit, and
He can sing and play
can
guitar.
sing.
Yeah.
He's on Broadway. He is incredible. We were teaching him. Well, he also came along, but I was hired to teach him to roller skate for a TV show called The Resident, because he was playing one of the lead.
Oh yeah, some other shows
characters.
we were on. The Quad.
The Quad, yeah, you can see me doing backflips.
All
and
Eyes
stuff
on Me?
The Quad, All Eyes on Me.
That was fun.
Yeah, we got to go to a Tupac and Biggie concert multiple
Yo.
times,
And we got
Like,
paid for
the
it.
Dude who looked like Tupac and dude who looked like Biggie were
On
on stage at the same time, and then Suge Knight had his own little VIP section.
He sure did.
Something crazy. I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but this is what we witnessed behind
Nah,
the
let's
scenes.
just leave it.
It was crazy. I'll just say that.
It was so fun though. Like everybody was lit the whole time. Everybody
remember-
put their emotions and all the takes because we're listening to Biggie, Tupac.
Bro, remember this? Remember that day on the set of Insurgent?
And we had
This
remember that.
is
day.
beautiful.
This is beautiful. How
This
many
is
days? We were on set for like a week and a
weeks.
half already.
We were on set
Weeks?
for weeks.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
and
weeks.
this is something that we did near the end of our time on the set of Insurgent. We were Dauntless Rebels.
Dauntless
Dauntless Rebel. Hey, all our
Oh, I
other
remember
Dauntless
watching-
Rebels that were out there.
Dauntless.
Shout out to y'all.
Dauntless.
Dauntless AF.
Dauntless AF.
Remember
you
y'all.
guys.
We remember.
Oh, you know what's
remember.
funny about before we got on the movie? I remember we actually went to run in American Ninja Warrior.
American Ninja Warrior. We keep on just bouncing back and forth.
I know because, like we said, it's so
Okay.
much to remember. That's why we're making this so we can
Okay,
remember
talk-
ourselves, right?
so
So American
talk about
Ninja
that,
Warrior.
then we'll
I only
talk
brought
about
that
it.
up. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but American Ninja Warrior. We went to visit our uncle in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that's around the time that the first Divergent movie came out.
Oh, Art. And he was in Austin. Sorry,
Austin. Yeah, he was in
correction.
Austin. We did the American Ninja Warrior in Dallas, but we stayed with him in Austin. And while we were there, we watched the movie Divergent.
Yep.
And I remember watching the movie being like, man, if I was in this movie,
I'd be a Dauntless Rebel.
I'd be a Dauntless.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be Dauntless.
And
right.
then next year,
We're freaking Dauntless Rebels. It's crazy.
from a thought, like, that would be really cool.
And that was a cool experience because we met a lot of people that we are still kind of in contact with. Not really, but we got to really meet people. In
Still
the
love you guys.
entertainment
You guys were
industry.
great, especially about this day we're about to talk about. I know
Right.
y'all remember.
This day on set, you had Haley, what's her name? Shay, whatever her name is. I'm sorry. There's a computer here. I'm just lazy.
I got a computer
It
here,
was
too. Shaylee Woodley.
Theo James. Shaylee Wood. Yep. Shaylee. Theo
Are
James.
we saying Shaylee? I don't think we should. I know Theo
don't-
James,
yo.
man. People's going
We had just this incredible experience on the set of Insurgent. It was crazy because it was us two in a room.
Arun.
We got together. He was like, "Hey, want me to bring my beer and bow tomorrow?"
We actually trained with him in Capoeira one day. Like it was after set. Of course, there's all these extras there, people that do similar things. He did martial arts, and we were like, "Hey, man, we want to learn some Angola Capoeira." So
He's like, I'll bring my beer and bow next time, and he brought his beer and bow, which is doom 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 doom. So we start off and we're doing our thing. We're jogoing, which is to play in capoeira with each other.
It's just me and him.
And then our
he's playing
homie
the band.
Scythe and his brother, they come up.
And then these two white girls,
Caitlin and Sierra.
Caitlin, Sierra, they are really good at
Yo,
capoeira.
these white girls just started doing capoeira with us. The next thing we know, it's
We
like
see
30
like some
people
white
around
dudes,
us.
like and some other people. They take empty water jugs, the big plastic ones that
Sit
you
next to
take
a
and fill
room.
with water. They flipped it over and had some sticks, and we're using it as
as a
drums.
drum. So we had beer and bow. We had some handmade drums. We had people singing, clapping. It's turned into this whole dance party
In
which
the
is
summer
in the
heat.
middle of the heat. It ended up being. It felt like 70 people were out there.
No, it was a lot.
Yeah,
3
it
hours
was
straight.
3 hours
3
just
hours
going
straight.
in a
Even like
circle.
the actors were walking by, like, what are
What's going
the
on
actors
over
doing over
there?
there? They were because they had their trailers like farther away, and
You
like
know, the main actors do their thing.
and the extras,
The extras
was all
is,
the way
like, over there,
And
yeah.
like we knew this would be like the last day for all of us to
It was
see each other how we see each other.
incredible because it was just vibrant tribal energy just in the sun. Nobody was taking water breaks. We were getting fed by the energy that we were giving and bringing.
We all
And other
dressed up as
people-
Dauntless and other factions, and people
all the
dancing. So many
factions
people
came
dancing.
together.
We were dancing.
and dancing
Unity.
and having a good time, singing, let other people lead. We followed. Like it was one of the best experiences.
Oh man,
on
by the
set.
end of it, I remember seeing everybody in the tent. Everybody looked mellowed and chilled out,
happy.
happy.
If you ever
smiling.
want to bring some good energy and unity on set, just have a dance break.
Dance break.
Even if it's 5 minutes, like it makes such a difference. And I want to talk about that.
It lifted our spirits.
Lifted our spirits, and I want to talk about the spirit part of being in the industry because you have to have, like you said, just tough skin. And so when I worked on Ambitions, it was my first lines to ever speak on TV ever. I literally had 2 lines. It was like, "Hey man, I ain't about all that." And
Sounds like something you would say.
it said some other. I had 2 lines regardless, and so it was Thomas DuPont. He hired me. You know, he was gonna hire either one of us. He chose me.
Oh no, he had us choose
He had us choose.
because he didn't want to
So
make
he's
that
like,
decision.
y'all figure it out. And so we were like, I'll do it. And so he hires me. We go, and Thomas DuPont, the way he works is incredible. So anybody out there listening who needs a good stunt coordinator and just a good human being,
He has all the accolades. He's been working on it,
He's
his craft
incredible.
for a long time, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
And so he's telling me a little bit about Nima Barnett, who's the director, and just showing me the ropes, really helping me out because, we're still new. Though we went to film school, I still feel like a newbie,
It's different being in school, and it's different actually going and doing it.
And so on set, first acting lines, hired as a stunt person to read lines. Now, when we first moved to Atlanta, we were pursuing stunts. And we kind of slowed down on that because
Which made sense for us because
For
it's like
us.
we're martial artists, like martial arts stunts. That goes together, right?
And it made sense for us to kind of stop going that way because
First off, now here's the thing about us too. It's hard for us to be cast as a lot of different things because we have our look here.
right, we not many people that we could double, unless we cut our hair or do something.
We ran into that trouble too, like having like to cut our hair not for a gig. Like,
Yep.
is it worth cutting our hair for this gig?
Is it worth
Or is
it?
it worth one of you cutting your hair for this gig?
Because if I decided to cut my hair for an earlier gig and say, yeah, and I need a longer hair for this later gig, it's like, and I want long hair in real life. So, the decisions you make. But luckily, we got to keep our hair.
Uh-huh.
And while I'm on Ambitions, Thomas is showing me around. We're going through it. We're rehearsing, doing all this. And then we finally get the first team rehearsal with all the DP, the director, the stunt coordinator.
Director of photography,
everybody.
for those of you
Everybody
that don't know
in
what DP is.
everybody on set to see what's going on. And now when they shoot TV, they just don't shoot one scene a day, and that's it. They shoot multiple scenes, maybe even
Because it's
multiple
TV.
episodes.
They got a lot of things they got to shoot.
They are working from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, repeatedly
For
throughout
weeks and months.
for a long
It's
time.
taxing, guys. It's really taxing.
So by the time that the director Nima Barnett comes in, which she's directed shows like Luke Cage, Queen Sugar, a bunch of other shows. She's been in the industry for a long time, and she had been stressed out from all the other scenes that she had been doing. So then I felt that energy. I was stressed too because I'm like, I don't want to mess nothing up.
Yeah, you don't.
But I got to stay in the moment. I got to be present. I got to be there. And she comes in, all right, let's do it. This and that. And now I didn't bring my sides with me. And that
Don't
energy.
do that. What sides are is it's some paper that you get, a little paper to be able to
It
have
has your
your
script on
lines,
there.
has your
Yeah.
script, what you're
The
doing for
scene
the
that
day.
you're doing, right? I didn't have it because I was like, I got 2 lines. I don't have nothing to work. I didn't know that when she came in there that all my nerves would rush those 2 lines out of my
Oh, you
head.
figured that out quick.
Figured that out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I'm looking. I'm like, "Hey man, I forgot my lines. Can you show me?" You know. And then so the other stunt homie showing me, and I was like, "Okay, I got it." And then I was like, "Oh man, I forgot." She was like, "All right, let's set up first rehearsal. Let's do it." So my scene partner is Luis, and he's dope stunt guy, incredible young dude that's doing his thing. I don't know if it was his first speaking role, but it's not his first time on set because he's incredible. And I was like, oh man, dude. She set up and she's like, first rehearsal now. And we get behind the door we're supposed to go into. I was like, yo, I forgot my lines. He's like, it's okay, man, I got it right here. And then he pulls his phone out.
Ooh, phones on set.
And then the song,
Typically,
the scene had already started, right? That's a big no. Don't have your phone on set. Big no.
Especially if you're just like coming in, starting
Right.
out. No, because you don't want anything recorded, nothing leaked. Come on, you got to.
Or just
gotta hold
people seeing you're not present with your phone out.
And no matter what you do, if you're looking down like this,
Right.
you don't
You're not present.
look present. Yeah.
So the door opens and she sees me looking at his phone and she's like, oh, we're not going to have that. I'm like, oh man, I know exactly how this looks. So using that military training my dad kicked into us, he was like, just stay calm and so I had to take control of this situation by being like, hey, there's just a bunch of confusion in the air. Can we just take a moment to reset and then we can all get back in line? And then that made her go from up here because she had all the stresses of the day.
It's stressful being a director.
Stressful because and it brought it down here because it's like, oh, okay. And then it wasn't just me sensing the stress. It was the other people in the room. You could see. And so after I said, hey, let's calm down. Can we reset? Do we just need a moment? Somebody helped me remember my line. It helped it just flowed after that. And then after she saw the actual walkthrough, she was like, oh, good acting. And then after that, she didn't really come on set to give a lot of notes. I mean, it was a small scene, but that was huge for me because going into it hired as a stunt person and stunt people getting a bad rap for not knowing how to act.
That's one of the biggest stigmas here is like stunt people not knowing how to
Huge.
act.
Which is why I said earlier, if you're going into this industry as a martial artist, learn acting too, because it's way more than just doing cool moves. You have to be able to exude emotion and make people feel something.
Feel what the character
See,
is supposed to feel.
You're looking at the finger and not the moon,
You really hit me on that.
right?
Yeah.
So
If you don't know what we're talking about, Enter the Dragon.
Enter the
Go ahead
Dragon.
and watch it.
But I had a great experience. It was on the set of Tyler Perry Studios.
And do you know what that reminds me of? Like what we hear a lot. What you showed is that are you easy to work with on set? So
Right.
if you're trying to pursue this industry, the easier you are to work with, the more you can save time and stay relaxed in the situation and
people
not
money.
add stress, save people money, be able to work with people. That is very valuable. It's almost like people. I get this. I'd rather be around somebody that I can tolerate for a really long time than somebody I can barely tolerate and not stand. So make
Right.
it so that people respect you. You respect other people. You're able to be friendly, be personable, and that's just goes along with being a decent human being. So that's
Right.
really all you got to show.
Stay in your own lane.
No, it's a job. It's work. It's,
People pay attention.
It's now. Let me say that again. It's a job.
It's
It's
work.
work.
And let's talk about this and we'll wrap it up. Let's talk about how we got on Black Lightning.
Oh man, so all the things we told you, we've been doing for years, and we were actually doing this, helping with John Crooms on his Actions for Actors class, where we would help teach people. Well, he was teaching people, and we would help with assisting and helping them look good in fight scenes and all that. Now, there's someone named, which I got to shout out. We got to shout her out. You know who I'm about to shout out? Jazzy. Thank you, Jazzy. She reached out to us and Jason and told us and him about Black Lightning having an audition. So we went to the audition, and because of all the stuff we did, we ran into a stunt coordinator that we knew.
Now, mind you, the audition was literally like, hey, all the black people in Atlanta that are able to do stunts, martial arts, driving, this cool stuff, come. We want you to come. And it was for SAG people only.
And we haven't been SAG by then. That's one of the hardest things to be able to achieve is just become SAG.
Become part of the Screen Actors Guild is tough. For a lot of people, sometimes it's easy. You know, for us, it took some time to be able to do it.
But we also, like we said, we had a lot of hard work. We had a lot of discipline, consistency, and we had luck too. On our
side. So since they were looking for SAG actors and we weren't SAG, we had to go last at the audition.
Yeah, we had to go last. They let all the people who were SAG first. We went last. And when we went up, I remember who went first? You or me? I think it was you.
It was me. I had a partner. So they gave us partners and they gave us like
an 8-count choreography,
something simple, and then they were like, "You do something, you know."
Can you show us something cool? Show us something cool.
Being able to be ready.
Be ready. Be prepared with something. Be a martial artist with some moves ready, with some kind of form ready to be able to show.
Even if it's like a, and you got that down to a science, right?
You gotta have that ready. Thing. That's really what helped us stand out is that we had extra training, and you can tell we took the time to train and do these things. In fact, he went first, and he did pretty good. And then I remember I went, and I did a good job too because we actually showed that we weren't just like stunt folks. We actually had the knowledge and the charisma, the energy that you would want on screen. So from that,
from practicing performing on stage so much, because this. Working on TV and film is different because you can take so many takes, but when you're on stage, there ain't no stopping the show. You got to keep going no matter what. There's one time I think I kicked him or he kicked me in the face. One of us got hit.
You just got to keep going.
Full contact. Wow.
Got to keep going.
Got to keep.
And our dad would have our performances be minutes long, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're moving like we were moving, that is a lot.
So we were prepared for the moment. And what happened?
So what happened is we actually got a call. I remember I still have the message saved from Thomas DuPont. Thank you, Thomas, about getting on the show.
Badger.
And Jennifer. Jennifer was there. Jennifer Badger. She is an incredible woman. She's done stunts for, like 30 years now. So veterans in the game.
Both of them.
So thank you, guys. We appreciate it. We are helpful. We are thankful.
If you want to hire us again, we're here.
No complaints there. No, but that's how we got into Black Lightning. So, it was really our talent and just showing up and being ready and knowing that all the work we did before preceded us. That's something I have to do. And we were also able to, when Thomas asked us afterwards, like, "Hey guys, like, can you send me your stuff?"
Right.
Actually having things to be able to send.
Having it prepared, ready to send out, having a reel, and. We never. This is something.
Oh yeah,
we've never had professional headshots taken.
We've never had it.
Hadn't gone and paid somebody else to do it. Like we just took some. They weren't the best, but there's a lot of actors out there who sometimes are even just stuck on the headshot part, let alone the craft.
Yeah,
part.
And that's like one of the beginning intro parts. And here's the thing about
which
the
we recommend, not because we're different. We recommend you get a great headshot.
We still had headshots. We still had all that.
We still got to get some.
Yeah, we still got to get some. Now the thing about the headshot is you want it to be pretty updated within the last 6 months or whatever look you have. So that's why it's important so that you can see how you look in the now, not how you looked 10 years ago.
Right.
You gotta.
At least every 6 months or so. That's what they say. We hardly take any.
So
because we create so many videos and so much content. So like we just like watch us instead. Mm-hmm. So that's what Thomas DuPont did, was send over our stuff to the creator of the show.
Which we had a headshot.
Thank you, Salim Akil, for having us on all 3 seasons. You and the writers and everybody else.
Working with Jill Scott. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Every moment on set of Black Lightning was incredible. And just being on set was incredible. One, because Black people in front of and behind the cameras, and then you got all sorts of races and ethnicities, and there was no ill intention or it was always good. Weird feeling. It was always welcoming, inviting, fun.
And even though you can see they're tired from working long hours, doing all this,
they still keep going.
Right?
And it's really that was huge for us, because it was our first time being on screen with somebody like the likes of Jill Scott.
There's a lot of stories there on its own.
Oh my gosh.
For the short amount of time we've been around her,
You're incredible. And we weren't around her like that, okay? It's just we worked on the show.
It's work.
It was work for her. It was work for us. So we got to sit and work with her. But, along the way, we got to learn so many things, share stories. And
she shared stories.
I just got to say this. People ask all the time, how is it working with Jill Scott? And I say, whatever you imagine in your head of how you thought it was going to be meeting Jill Scott, it's like that.
It's like that.
It's
like that for real.
It's like that.
It's one of the things that I love. We were doing... Okay, here's 2 things. One thing that I really liked last time we were on set with her is between takes, she was singing this Missy Elliott song. It was great. She was like, that song go off. Cool off, cool off, cool off, cool off.
The whole time.
The whole time. She loves Starburst. I still got some Starburst that she gave me. I still got them. I'm a little weirdo for that, but it's fine. I still got
It's Jill Scott.
It is Jill Scott.
And it's so cool because I had my homie Kevin.
Another Kevin.
Close homie. He was one of my coworkers at one of the jobs I had, but he was just like, hey, man, it's so dope you got to work with her, because I just remember the times when I didn't really have much, but what I did have was music. And her, and he named a few, but he was one of the tops on her list, like helped him get through. So shout out to you, Miss Jill Scott, because you have influenced and helped so many people in positive ways. I had somebody else tell me how much your song Golden has this older lady just telling me. Sometimes she listens to it like every morning because it just gives her that life and that energy. And
when your art can do that,
art can do that.
Yeah. I do have to say one thing that the other thing it reminds me of that is incredible about Jill Scott is seeing how she works to remember her lines.
Oh my gosh.
That was really cool. So she's a musician. How do you think she remembers her lines? She makes it a song.
Right.
She'll be like, oh, I forgot the song. And then she'll run through it. I remember her just looking at us, saying the lines to us. Because we don't say anything. We're just sitting there. We just got to look cool. Like, we're doing this. All right, go do it. Like, look mean, upset. But, like, she would practice the lines to us. And she's like, oh, I forgot the song. Oh, that's the song.
Right.
And that's where she can add her inflections, where she can do that and remember it. Just like we remember the alphabet, because that's a song.
Right. And just like how us, whenever we do our stuff, we remember it by one move at a time, and then stringing it together, seeing it as instead of just
see it
audio,
as a story. Yeah.
See it as a story. Just an expression. It's martial art.
So it was cool to see her take her craft that she's studying and is well known for, and use it in another way.
Yes,
to help her out
to help her in another craft.
Connect everything. Right.
So shout out to you, Miss Jill Scott. Thank you for being so great on set. It was such an honor. And we know you started your podcast. Super dope. Everybody go check out her podcast. It's probably way better than this one. Thank you. Anything else that you want to add?
Well, I mean, we have more coming in the future. There's a lot more we could have talked about now, but I think that's a pretty good ending for this moment.
Ending point. There's a lot.
Because those are like the main things that has happened in our career.
Yes.
We've had to have so many other small instances, so many unseen things, just
Oh
like you don't
my
see the
gosh.
roots grow into the ground. Like there's so
They're
many.
still there.
They're still there.
They're still
and
there.
Our roots run deep in this work that we do, and they're only going to get stronger and deeper the more that we water it, and that we
Take care of the
this
land,
take
on
care of
it,
it.
keep
So
just keep
we're.
going.
I feel happy to be able to share this with you guys. We're happy to share it, and hopefully that you got something out of it. And if
Right.
you didn't get anything out of it, at least enjoy.
Oh,
Just hearing
but
what's
before we
happening.
do go, this is something I do want to add for you all. So, into the entertainment industry, one of the biggest things that a lot of new actors come into it thinking they need is right away. Thinking they need right away is a talent agent.
a talent, you do
A
not
talent agent
need-
or a talent manager. In this day and age, you do not need that
This
right
day and
away.
age, yeah,
at the,
right
at
away.
the beginning. Now, to get the higher paying jobs, you're gonna have to.
There's
But-
just different things. It's a business. You got to learn how to grow in the business. Just like
Right.
when you play Monopoly, you got to figure out how to get them hotel pieces.
Right. You can't just jump straight to the hotel. You got to get the little house.
You
right?
got to get the land first.
You gotta get the money
street.
first.
You gotta yeah, so
All of
just
that.
like that.
And so for us, it's been really interesting because we have had a talent agent,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't get booked on anything with them. Now that was for us to
Yeah,
learn.
and what we
why.
have to learn there is just when you do get to the point where you need a talent agent, have a good relationship.
Good relationship because they're going to get you more auditions and get you. Now we had been getting this stuff because of God's grace and God's just blessings.
And us staying in faith.
It's staying in faith of like what we have to work with has gotten us this far. Now, with that being said, any talent agents, any talent managers, go ahead, email us. We're going to put it on the screen for you. The Blazing Twins at gmail.com.
Because
we're
we're not saying, we're
looking
not
to
opposed to them
grow.
because they are important.
We can use y'all's help. Y'all can help us out. All right, let's wrap it up now. Let's go ahead and we talked about our experience in the entertainment.
We could call this
industry.
Enter the Industry.
Enter the industry.
That's what we're going to call it.
That's what it's called. This podcast is going to be called Enter the Industry. Thank you all for taking the time to listen. Okay, we really appreciate it. And let's go ahead and wrap it up with our mantra. Call and response.
Here we
and
go.
then you repeat it with us. Again,
Let me say this part. Let me say the call.
Kevin's going to do the call and
gonna call it
response.
this
Then
time.
we're all, if you're listening, that means you're going to say it too. We're going to all say it together. So follow Kevin, and we all together.
Mind,
Mind,
body,
body,
spirit.
spirit.
I use my mind to think.
I use my mind to think.
I use my body to move.
I use my body to move.
And I use my spirit to spread love.
And I use my spirit to spread love. One more time. Let's do it together. 3, 2, 1.
Mind, body, spirit. I use my mind to think. I use my body to move. And I use my spirit to spread love.
Thank you all for listening to Martial Art Mindset. Help us out because we want to see martial arts grow to a new level. Thank you again for listening to our 8th session of Martial Art Mindset.
Hope you enjoyed this martial arts class that you can sit in on.
My name is Calvin,
And my name is Kevin.
and we are
The Blazing Twins.
Outro song.
8 session. 8 session. 8 session. 8 session. 8. This is session 8.
Enter the industry. Enter the industry.
Into the industry. Into the industry. All right, let's stop recording.